Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the 8th Annual Cornwall Heritage Awards. I hope you've had a drink or two. Sounds like some have had more than that, maybe. No, it's great to see so many of you here this evening, and I have to start off by saying thank you to the National Maritime Museum. Thank you for hosting us. It's been such a fantastic venue. We've had a great day already, and really looking forward to the evening to come, the most exciting bit, all the nominations and the awards. As usual, the wonderful Daphne Skinner from BBC Radio Cornwall will be emceeing the evening, but before I hand over to her, I'd like to introduce Councillor Sarah Priest from Cornwall Council, the portfolio holder for tourism, localism and planning, to say a few words before we start.
Morass, Mark. Yes, my name is Councillor Sarah Priest, and I am the portfolio holder, cabinet member for tourism, localism and planning. Tourism and planning is kind of quite straightforward and quite obvious what that is, but localism is the beast of about 15 different things, one of which, of course, is culture and heritage. So I'm really glad to be here this evening, and thank you so much, Morass. So welcome to the 8th Annual Cornwall Heritage Awards, and welcome to Falmouth. And welcome to this truly remarkable building, the National Maritime Museum in Cornwall, which is one of our very, very beautiful museums, one of the finest that we have, and we are very lucky and very blessed in Cornwall to have some of the best in the country and the world, I would say. It's a perfect home for an occasion like this, and I'm delighted to be here as a portfolio holder. And I'm honoured to be able to know what I know will be a truly memorable celebration. But before I go any further, I want to say a sincere thank you to those of you who have spent the day here at the symposium on the theme of community and belonging in our museums and heritage spaces. That theme could not be more timely. And from what I've heard, the conversations have been rich, thought-provoking, and genuinely inspiring. The work happening in this sector, the thinking, the questioning, the reimagining of what museums are and who they are for, is extraordinary. So thank you to everyone who contributed to those discussions today. Tonight, though, we are getting to celebrate, and we have a lot to celebrate. I want to start with something that I believe sits at the very heart of why we are all here. Heritage is not just the past. Heritage is the story that we tell ourselves about who we are. It is the thread that connects our grandparents to our grandchildren. It is the reason a child standing in a museum display, in front of a museum display, feels a flicker of recognition, a sense that this story, this place, this object somehow belongs to them. And belonging matters. It matters enormously. In a world that sometimes feels fragmented, fast-moving and uncertain, the places and the stories that anchor have never been more important. That is what placemaking is really about. It is not just about buildings and spaces, it is about meaning. It is about giving people the sense that they are rooted in something real, something that actually matters, and something that is theirs. And our museums and heritage organisations are some of the most powerful placemakers that we have. Here in Cornwall, we are custodians of a heritage that is frankly breathtaking in its breadth and its depth. We are the land of ancient stone circles and holy wells, of mining landscapes that shape the modern world, of fishing communities whose traditions stretch back for millennia. We are a maritime nation in all but name, a peninsula bounded by water on three sides, whose identity has always been shaped by our rivers and our seas, and by the extraordinary relationship with our people. And we are a nation with our own language, with our own culture, our own music and stories and ways of seeing the world. This is not romantic nostalgia. This is something real and vital. Because when communities have a strong sense of who they are and where they come from, they are more resilient. They are more creative. They are more connected to one another and to the land on which they live. Cornish cultural identity is not a relic to be preserved under glass. It is a living, breathing thing that gives our communities their strength and their spirit. The Cornish people were granted national minority status in 2014, a formal recognition that we are a unique national group with our own culture, history and traditions that deserve protection and promotion. But with that recognition comes a responsibility. Our museums and heritage organisations are absolutely central to fulfilling that responsibility. When Will Martin brings to life the extraordinary legacy of our mining communities, when the Museum of Cornish Life celebrates every day Cornish culture, when this museum connects our maritime identity to the wider world, when all of you maintain your collections, plan your displays and welcome in your visitors, you are saying, this story matters. These people matter, and this place matters. And you are saying it not just to visitors from upcountry or from overseas. We are saying it to Cornish people themselves, to our young people especially. You are saying, look at what your ancestors built and endured and created. Look at the ingenuity, the resilience, the artistry of your forebears. Be proud of who you are and where you come from. And that story stretches far beyond our boundaries. At the height of the mining industry, Cornish miners, the Cousin Jacks and Cousin Jennies, left in their hundreds of thousands, carrying their skills and identity to every corner of the globe. As the saying goes, where there's a hole in the ground, you'll find a Cornishman at the bottom of it. Today, there are Cornish communities on every inhabited continent, people who still celebrate St. Piran's Day, still carry the Cornish flag as a symbol of their heritage that they have never let go of. Our heritage sector has a vital role in nurturing those connections. Cornwall's contribution to the world is a remarkable thing. It is a story worth telling. Cornwall's historic significance, of course, extends far beyond its own shores in another sense too. The Cornish mining landscape is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, recognised as being of outstanding universal value to the whole of humanity. When we invest in heritage, when we protect it, interpret it, celebrate it, and make it accessible, we are not just doing something good for Cornwall. We are contributing to the cultural wealth of Great Britain and to the shared heritage of the world. And I think that is something every person working in this sector should feel genuinely proud of. I am often asked, why should we invest in heritage? What is the return? And I say the same thing. Heritage is not a luxury. Heritage is infrastructure or architecture. It is the architecture of identity, of belonging, of community cohesion. It draws visitors, supports local economies, educates and inspires our young people, and sustains the kind of quiet, deep pride in who you are, that no matter how much economic development, can provide. Our museums and heritage organisations do all of this day in and day out with remarkable dedication and with resources that are never quite as generous as they deserve to be. They do it because they believe in it, because they love Cornwall and its stories and its people. And tonight, we are here to say to you, we see you, we value you, and we are grateful for everything that you do. I want to thank all of tonight's nominees and the winners. Every one of you represents the best of what this sector can be. I want to thank the National Maritime Museum of Cornwall for this extraordinary setting, and thank you to the organising team, the judges, our sponsor, the World Heritage Site, Sonny's Cornish Kitchen for keeping us fueled, and Chaos Cornwall for excellent digital support once again. Thank you to everyone who's given their time and energy to make tonight and today possible. Cornwall is a special place. I know every region says that, but I believe it in my bones. There is something about this landscape, this culture, this people, that is genuinely unlike anywhere else in the world. And it is our privilege and our responsibility to safeguard it. So let us celebrate tonight. Let us celebrate the extraordinary work being done to keep Cornwall's heritage alive. Let us celebrate the Cornish identity in all its richness and complexity, and let us recommit to the work ahead. Thank you all so very much. It is now my very great pleasure to officially open the 8th Annual Cornwall Heritage Awards. Miras.
Miraz, Sarah, thank you very much. And now, just ahead of starting, I've just got 2 logistical points for those of you lucky enough to be nominated to bear in mind. One is you will be getting a commendation certificate, and if you see myself, Annie or Eilish afterwards, we do have hard envelopes to protect those for you while you take them home. And the other thing is, for all of you who've been nominated, or if you're lucky enough to win, there will be a photo opportunity after the awards ceremony downstairs for all of the organisations. So that out of the way, I have great pleasure in welcoming Daphne Skinner to host the awards tonight. Miraz.
Miraz, thank you very much, and lovely to see so many of you here this evening who I've seen on previous years. And as we've already heard, this is the 8th Cornwall Heritage Awards, 8th year, and you are allowed to whoop and cheer because actually you're incredibly tired, and we've had alcohol served as well, so that's just not good enough, is it? But we hope that as the evening goes on and as you receive the awards, then the excitement will be there. But anyway, these awards are brought to you by Cornwall Council and Museum Development South West. They're also supported by Arts Council England, and we are very grateful once again to have our sponsor, Cornwall and West Devon Mining Landscape World Heritage Site, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, which is celebrating 20 years this year. That's worth a whoop. That's it. So I'm delighted to be here. Thank you so much for asking me again to host these awards, and a special thank you to Chaos Digital, our wonderful media partners, who are also live streaming this celebration. Whoa! So there we go. So, and this venue, it just feels entirely appropriate for this evening that celebrates you who keep our history alive, our communities connected, and our heritage thriving. I've got my eye on one of the yachts there. I thought it would be quite nice, wouldn't it, just to creep out of here and then sit on a yacht for the evening. But since 2018, these awards have shone a light on the extraordinary work being done by museums, heritage organisations, volunteers and visionaries across Cornwall and the Isles of Scilly, not forgetting the Isles of Scilly. Every year I'm struck by the breadth, the creativity and the sheer determination of all of you in the room to keep these stories alive. Many of you have been to the event before, but just in case you are new, all our museums and heritage organisations nominate themselves for each award. Judging took place in March by a wonderfully diverse range of heritage and culture professionals and experts in their fields. We're delighted that so many of the judges could join us this evening. In some categories, where there are a high number of nominations, the shortlist was split into 2 groups based on how many full-time equivalent paid members of staff are in the organisation. This is so we can properly and fairly celebrate the full breadth and diversity of all the heritage organisations, including the huge number of volunteer-run museums and projects across Cornwall and the Isles of Scilly. As you heard from Mark, our winners will be presented with a trophy, and all our shortlisted projects, teams and individuals will receive a highly commended certificate. Just getting to the shortlist is an achievement, so huge congratulations to you all for making it this far, and I think that's worth another round of applause. Now we'll be presenting the awards in this order: collaboration, innovation and best project on a budget. Those are the 3 to start off with. After that, the awards that celebrate people: Heritage Heroes, Leader of the Year, and One to Watch. Our final section will be the big ones: Exhibition of the Year, everyone's favourite Object of the Year, and then Spirit of the Awards. As usual, all entrants have been asked to submit, alongside their project submissions, statements on their commitment to inclusion and environmental sustainability. Special commendation certificates will be given to organisations both large and small who demonstrate exemplary commitment to these core values of the Cornwall Heritage Awards. Object of the Year has, as always, been voted for by the public. It's always a joy to discover new objects and stories they represent, this year on the wider symposium of community and belonging. For 2026, the Spirit of the Awards, which is sponsored by the Devon and Cornwall UNESCO World Heritage Mining Landscape, has been judged slightly differently. The winner has been selected from all of the category winners. They've been scored against 5 core values: how deeply the work is grounded in Cornwall's sense of place, how meaningful the work supports or strengthens local communities, how the nominee contributes to the wider heritage ecosystem, how clearly positive values are embedded in how the work is done and delivered, and finally, how the work inspires through example and not through profile. So because we need to discover who's won each category, the Spirit of the Awards announcements will conclude the evening. And a couple of quick housekeeping notes. If you do hear a fire alarm, we're not expecting one, then there are clearly marked signs for the fire exits. And please don't run, just go orderly in an orderly fashion. Your mobiles, if they're switched on, could you switch off the ringer? You know, we've had all sorts of interesting pieces of music played because mobile phones are still on. Please, we'd love you to get involved, take photographs, and also tweet the hashtag, not Instagram as well. Hashtag this year is CHA26, so hashtag CHA26. I'm a little bit behind the times with tweet, aren't I? It's X. But anyway, there we go. So to help the awards run smoothly, please can I ask that if you are announced as the winner of your category, then please come up and join me here. We can all give you a huge whoop and a round of applause, and we'll take some photographs as well. I'll then ask the runners-up to collect their highly commended certificates, and we'll get some group shots too. So you then may return to your seats to enjoy the rest of the ceremony. Now, before we move on to our first awards, I want to introduce someone who's going to take us on a journey tonight through story, landscape, and through the experience of being Cornish. Laura Kestrel is a poet rooted in the West Country. Her writing draws on the beautiful, sometimes mythical landscape of Cornwall and on the very real, very human experience of growing up here. She's performed across the globe, won poetry slams, and was selected as emerging talent at the Wise Words Festival. Tonight, she'll share 3 poetic stories exploring Cornwall's identity, its mining heritage, and its memory. Please give a warm welcome to Laura Kestrel.
Hello everyone. So most of you know me as an archaeologist, but actually I've been writing since I was 12, and I spent most of my uni nights going out and doing poetry slams. So this is dedicated to my grandfather, who was a miner down Giva. It's called Rich. Now let me tell you a story of how a young country boy got rich quick with slick thinking and coffee drinking luck. It's 1953, he's of Italian origin. It's been a little over 15 years since he was born, one early morning in an old farmhouse in Sogno. The sun is a sadist as it rises, so hot it burns. Its open-air stage, a kitchen, baking your skin like slow-rising bread, lying above red and parched fields, yielding rows upon rows of tired wheat. The boy wonders if with the morning rays of sunshine past the giant rolling hills to the east lays the promise of opportunity. But this majestic golden beast is a captor of dreams, so our boy is going to need some luck. It's 17th of November, 1954, and our boy has just turned 19. More has happened to him in this short time than in your average lifespan, but still he always tells himself, I can. And so he up sticks and leaves, heaves his heavy rucksack onto small square shoulders, long spent shouldering responsibility. And he gets a boat, determined to stay afloat. Then soon the British coast arrives on his horizon, and he sets his eyes on, and you dream. It seems momentous to know that not all that long ago, this boy was a prisoner in his own poverty, of family tragedy, pain he did not ask for or contribute to, a tribute to the war-stained country. But now, he's arrived. He sets foot onto granite-infused cliffs and moors of heather. Who knows whether he prefers home soil or the greener grass? But he's here. He finds a job and he starts the work, and with the odd smirk, he soon made some friends, never-ending support during when he feels homesick again. But there's no one left to come home to. He spends years in this country, his mother tongue growing lonely, longing to get reacquainted with home, yet here is where his life is sown, always caught between the strain of a family wrought in two places at once. Along the way, he's lost some comrades, sadly fallen to the wayside. The years cannot be denied, yet you, young country boy, continue to thrive here. No fear of the past or the future, not now. And in these last few twilight years, you might not always be strong in health, but you're strong in spirit. Your voice, we always hear it. A wealth of knowledge and unending love, and to that ambitious boy transcending boundaries, I send my never-ending love. And one day, one early morning in an old farmhouse, he realizes the lifelong truth, that his poverty was cut from him with a knife as soon as he bravely began his new life, and that in actual fact, when he looks at the life he created, though I'm fated to summarize, he's truly spent it seeing through a rich man's eyes. Thank you.
Very special. Thank you very much, Laura. We'll be hearing more from her throughout the evening. Now to the awards. As usual, I'll first announce the shortlist for each category and then the winner. So the first is for collaboration, because some of the most powerful heritage work happens when different people, different skills, and different communities come together. We've got one award for this category tonight. The shortlisted nominees for collaboration are Castilly-Henge Excavation, Cornwall Heritage Trust. The 2025 Castilly-Henge excavation combined major archaeological research with extensive community engagement through strong partnerships, volunteering, schools, well-being, and creative programs. It reconnected people with Cornwall's deep past, building skills, pride, belonging, and long-term stewardship. The Greatest Gull, Isles of Scilly Museum. Supported by a talking nature grant of £5,000, the Isles of Scilly Museum have collaborated with students at the Five Islands Academy and the Isles of Scilly Wildlife Trust to create a short student-led documentary film about the plight of our greater black-backed gull. And Will Martin's Royal Society Places of Science project, Will Martin Clayworks. They were awarded the Places of Science funding to creatively explore China clay mining heritage and future green industries. Working with industry and academic partners, the project connected communities and pupils with real scientists, heritage, innovation, and future STEM careers. The golden envelope has arrived. Yeah, I know, you're terribly quiet. Honestly, this is supposed to be a celebration. Come on. Thank you. And the winner. Oh, hang on. Oh, hang on a sec. I haven't announced it just yet, but don't worry. The winner of the Cornwall Heritage Award for Collaboration 2026 is Will Martin's Royal Society Places of Science project, inspiring Cornwall's mind and miners for our future. Please come up. And so that means we have the runners-up who are Cornwall Heritage Trust and Isles of Scilly Museum. Come and collect your certificates, please. So that's how it's done, and that's how we're going to go on with the next award when we're celebrating innovation. The organisation's finding new ways to reach audiences, tell stories and bring heritage to life. The shortlisted nominations for innovation are Digital Map, Cornwall Heritage Trust, an online interactive map marking a step change for Cornwall Heritage Trust, using digital technology to connect historic sites into a single narrative landscape. It expands access beyond physical visits, blending conservation, storytelling, and interpretation into strategic, inclusive, and future-facing approach. John Rapson Digitisation Lisgarden District Museum, launched in 2025. This project began a long-term programme to digitise 500,000 photographic negatives. Supported by grants and partnerships, it secured professional preservation, improved access to an off-site collection, and built staff digital skills through a permanent digitisation station. We love alliteration. Anyway, and then we move on to the third shortlisted nomination, Wheels at Wheel Martin Clayworks, launching as a classic car meet to recruit engineers. Wheels successfully generated new museum volunteers. Volunteer-led growth built a skilled, committed community, delivering 12 new volunteers across teams while boosting income, audiences, engagement, and long-term conservation capacity. Innovation can look like cutting-edge technology, and it can look like heritage spaces being used in the most surprising ways. The winner of the Cornwall Heritage Award for Innovation 2026. Are we ready? Yeah, you're getting there. Cornwall Heritage Trust Digital Map. Congratulations to you. And then the two runners-up, Lisgarden District Museum and Will Martin Clayworks. Please come and get your certificates. And now one of my personal favourites, Best Project on a Budget. This award proves year after year that impact is not about how much money you spend. It's about ingenuity, passion, and making every single pound count. The shortlisted nominations for Best Project on a Budget are the Metal Conservation Project, Wheel Martin Clayworks. In response to corrosion risks and visitor feedback, the museum trained volunteers in metal conservation and treated most industrial objects. Structured documentation and maintenance regimes have improved collections care, volunteer skills and pride, strengthened public confidence and supported long-term preservation of large metal heritage. The budget was £970. Codes, Secrets and Communications, Saltash Heritage, a chance donation of coded World War II letters, inspired Codes and Secrets, a new 2025 exhibition marking the war's 80th anniversary. Combining hands-on displays and creative interpretation, it engaged schools, families and specialists, deepened volunteer visitor interaction and attracted national recognition and further donations. Their budget was £90. Here and Now, Cornwall Museum and Art Gallery. The Here and Now exhibition raised vital funds for the Monday Museum Club, supporting people with dementia. Anonymous artworks curated by participants engaged artists, volunteers, visitors and media, raising £3,261 to strengthen group sustainability, well-being support and future growth. Their budget was £369. So £90, £369, £970, all delivering extraordinary results. The winner of Best Project on a Budget 2026 is Codes, Secrets and Communications, Saltash Heritage. Many congratulations. Please could Cornwall Museum and Art Gallery and Will Martin Clayworks come up and have your photographs taken and receive your certificates. Thank you. After all that excitement, it's time now to pause and let Cornwall's landscape speak again. Here's Laura Kestrel.
So this is another one in the vein of identity. I'm Cornish Italian, what about you? But I can't help this hair I was born into or this blanket of skin I wear. These veins, these eyes, this skin, these lips, mucky. No, that's not right. Nuki. No, that's not right either. M-U-I-C-C-I. You've known me for several years. No, that's still not right. Every mispronunciation, another nail into my wall of shame. It has a lot hanging up on it now. For years, I carried these nails around with me, every trip's luggage getting heavier. I wondered what it would be like to be patriotic, fiercely proud of my one nationality, a piece perfectly fitting into the jigsaw of the cosmopolitan British culture which surrounded me. You don't look very Cornish. Well, I'm a UK citizen. What's your last name then? Well, it's Miucci, but see, I told you. Maybe not foreign, but definitely not entirely Cornish. Too much of a native English speaker to be fully Italian, too good of a summer tan to be an English rose, too conflicting of ideas to find just one place where I felt I belonged. My national identity still identifying itself. One of my grandfathers was an Italian immigrant, and other ancestors Spanish and Irish, luckily all Catholic families though, and for a long time, well, for me, I really didn't know. Too European to be a xenophobic, masquerading, under-patriotic Brit. Too British, though, in my expressions idiomatic, trying to perfectly balance my multicultural roles like I was an artist's palette. Finding a name more digestible and a proud Anglophone facade to match. But to truth, I was always in debt. The realization that all my name ever really was the mark of my family history, the struggle, the culture within a culture, the unity, the wonderful genetic tapestry that flows throughout my body. That all my name ever is and will be is the mark of my forefathers lost, their declining dialect use, the cultural cost of their new home on the British coast. but the things that I remember most, I promise to never forget. My eyes, my name, my other mother tongue from where I came, beautifully entwined with my birthplace island. My honour and my fortune to belong to more than one culture. I'm Cornish Italian, what about you? I can't help this hair and skin I was born into, and I don't want to. Miraz.
Fabulous. Thank you so much, Laura. Right, we're heading back to the awards now, and the next categories of the Heritage Awards are all about the people. People who give their time and skills freely, people who lead teams and organisations through challenging times, and people without whom Cornwall's heritage sector simply could not function. So first of all, Heritage Heroes, an opportunity to celebrate the work of a team who've achieved something special this year. We've got 2 awards to present for this category. The shortlisted nominations that are for the smaller organisations are Lostwithiel Town Trail, Lostwithiel Town Team. This is a volunteer-led digital and physical heritage project created by local residents in 2025, combining trails, infrastructure and online content. It enhances sense of place, accessibility and engagement, showing the town's heritage, environment and culture through community collaboration and long-term sustainable design. John Rapson Digitisation, Liskeard and District Museum. In 2025, 2 volunteers made significant contributions at Liskeard and District Museum. Kevin Brown laid vital groundwork for the digitisation project, while Elizabeth Caddy transformed learning, family engagement and communications, introducing new audiences, strengthening skills and expanding the museum's capacity and impact. The restoration of Tolgus Mill, that's Cornwall Gold. At the unfunded Grade 2 listed Tolgus Mill, a small in-house team supported by new Friends of Tolgus volunteers delivered essential repairs. Volunteer skills enabled restoration work, a newly curated, historically accurate visitor route, and progress towards reviving original machinery, strengthening preservation and interpretation. The winner of Heritage Heroes Smaller Organisations 2026 is... Congratulations goes to Lostwithiel Town Team. Don't forget to stay here for the photographs, thank you. And the other people that we would like to join us who were shortlisted, Cornwall Gold and Liskeard and District Museum. And so the shortlist for the Heritage Heroes for larger organisations is Library Volunteers, Cornwall Museum and Art Gallery. When the Courtney Library faced crisis after its long-serving librarian's retirement, a self-organising volunteers team stepped in. Through shared expertise, dedication and mutual support, they stabilised, catalogued and conserved irreplaceable, I can't say it, collections, safeguarded daily access and ensured the library's survival and renewal. Collections volunteer team, Museum of Cornish Life. In 2025, an expanded well-trained collections volunteer team enabled a major collection move ahead of installation works. Volunteers inventory checked, cleaned and relocated more than 3,500 objects, installed UV filtering on 36 windows, updated records and met a tight December deadline essential to the project's success. The Hardy Bunch, Cornwall Heritage Trust. This is a volunteer conservation group delivering essential site management across historic Cornwall through skilled, trained teamwork. They protect archaeological features, maintain access, and contribute more than 1,500 volunteer hours annually, ensuring hidden heritage sites remain cared for, accessible, and well interpreted. The winner of Heritage Heroes Larger Organisations 2026 is Cornwall Museum and Art Gallery. And please, can the Museum of Cornwall Life and Cornwall Heritage Trust come up to receive your certificates? Thank you to you all for your incredible work being undertaken by teams of volunteers each and every day. And yes, just to, for those of you who are having your photograph taken, please can you stand in front of the podium so that we can have a lovely photograph of you. Our next award is Leader of the Year, recognising inspirational leadership from an individual or team in an organisation at any level who's influenced, inspired and motivated their colleagues. Leadership in heritage requires diverse skills and the ability to adapt and problem solve, often daily. This award recognises individuals who've made an exceptional difference to their organisations and the people around them. On this year's shortlist, Lara Claudel, Sales Manager, Bodmin Jail. Lara's leadership, yes, a whoop, we got a whoop there, come on, whoop for Lara, has transformed the jail's performance and cultural reach. Through strategic sales, partnerships and team development, she's grown bookings, events and schools engagement, improved morale and processes, diversified income, strengthened sustainability, broadened access, and advanced the organisation's Heritage Access mission. Holly Ferris, Lead Ranger, Cornwall Heritage Trust. Yes. Holly is an exceptional leader who built and shaped the Ranger team from the ground up. Through people-centred leadership, mentoring apprentices and volunteers, sustainable land management and collaboration, she's created lasting capacity, confidence and a positive stewardship culture across the organisation. Helen Bishop-Stevens, Director of Bodmin Keep. Under Helen's leadership, Bodmin Keep survived crisis and closure to build a stronger future. Through fundraising, advocacy, outreach, learning and partnerships, she kept the museum visible, engaged thousands, secured expert planning and steered progress towards ownership transfer and long-term sustainability. The winner of Leader of the Year 2026 is... I'm loving these gold envelopes. Holly Ferris, Lead Ranger, Cornwall Heritage Trust. could we have Lara and Helen come and collect your certificates, please? Thank you very much. Next, it's one to watch. So this award recognises emerging talent, the volunteers and early career professionals who are under 25, just at the start of their heritage journey, but are already making a remarkable impact. If you've been to these awards before, you'll know how inspiring these young people are. There are 4 nominations on this shortlist this year because each and every one was just brilliant. They are Ben Knight, Wheel Martin Clayworks. Ben is a remarkable volunteer making an exceptional impact in just 6 months. His deep site knowledge, conservation skills, creative problem solving and versatility have strengthened collections care, displays and daily operations, leaving a visible and lasting legacy across the museum and site. Billy Warren, Museum of Cornish Life. Billy is a volunteer researcher whose creative, meticulous work has uncovered hidden stories across the collections, from local heritage collaborations to nationally recognised projects. His engaging writing, rigour and appreciation for history has significantly enriched the museum's knowledge, partnerships and impact. Milo Berwick, Penley House Gallery and Museum. Milo, are you here? Yes. Milo joined Penley House as a learning team volunteer and transformed school workshop quizzes through creative, child-friendly redesigns. His design skill, care for historical accuracy and proactive support have left a lasting legacy, enriching learning experiences for hundreds of school children across Cornwall and beyond. And Holly Thompson, Lisgarden District Museum. Whoop, whoop. Holly is a valued volunteer whose confidence, leadership and enthusiasm have transformed projects in Lisgard, from coordinating digitisation to delivering creative learning sessions. She strengthened the team, inspired others and made a lasting impact while launching her heritage career. It sounds as though the future of Cornwall's heritage is in very safe hands. So the winner of One to Watch. Oh, drum roll. Holly Thompson, Lisgarden District Museum. And please, can we have Ben, Billy and Milo please come up and collect your certificates. Congratulations, one and all. 2 more awards to go, but first we return one final time to Laura Kestrel.
I thought, in the spirit of having our wonderful up-and-coming heritage professionals, that we would take a minute to go back to me, sort of age 17, when I wrote this poem about growing up in Cornwall. It rains more than the national average. Every winter, a barrage on the senses, storms breaking walls, a carnival of chaos and clouds. Waves roaring loud over cars using the main road, which naturally runs right next to the sea. But then the summer arrives, everything comes alive. Dusted in the sun's rays, the tired farmers leave their fields, their armour a cider or 10. There's always a rally or a festival day, again an excuse to drink underage. Makes a difference from the park or strangers' houses, sparking up in the garden and on the beach. Meeting people you didn't realise you already kind of knew. The local pub, always the same, a hub for after-work activity. Don't blame the young for wanting change. The barmaid knows you, your mum, your auntie and cousins. They say everyone has 7 degrees of separation. Definitely an exaggeration here. The distance is more like 2. Shop floor gossip and skate park chat about somebody new. They came to the village from London. They don't know how we do things here. Slow go the many tractors, you chose the wrong time to shop. It's car boot day. Our first local pork burger of the year and rattler on tap. They say as soon as you leave your mother's breast, you're weaned onto the stuff. Whether it's Galawan or in the towns, you can never get enough. Fields were for ploughing, in every which way available. Always able to meet a young filly, she's from Young Farmers up Elston. A little far from home, but she's borrowed her mum's car. Don't you worry though, she's not planning on crossing the Tamar. There's a charity barn dance next week. There's every chance it's where your parents had their first meeting. Every family member follows the same routine, same school, same town, often the same final scene. It's rarer to have left, feeling nearer to your university town that the gap grows ever further, though you'll fall back into home life with ease. But please, by now, you know the drill. Cornwall's always steady, always still. Nothing much changes, at least not quickly. Not like the East, who butchered the pasty. I went to university in Kent, so sorry to anyone that's from Kent. Now, I don't want to get nasty. The pasties are okay. But there's nothing like your grandmother's homemade recipe passed down from an ancient great-great-auntie. Cornwall, you raised me. I sat on your hills when I was young, the sun hitting my face, a bike ride, tractor ride, horses and sea, with plenty of space to think and roam free. Now, I'm not saying it was easy sailing. A reigning miracle in my town is that anyone leaves at all. GCSEs weren't something everyone had. At 15, sons left school to work with their dads on the farm. No harm in that, but armed with no choice. My grandmother once told me, you get your degree. I moved 8 miles my whole life, married with a child before 20. Plenty of people do it, and that's fine. But that was never a plan of mine. Mines, they've closed. This was written a while ago. Fishing, gasping for breath, it still struggles. But don't worry. There's jobs and care work to pay the bills. Gone are pirates who smuggle. Fire it. The local Boxing Day shoot. Tradition is what we have here. We have our myths. We have our slang. No other language sounds as warm as when my local dialect washes around my form. I'm no longer just a Cornish maid. I'm a mix of Penzance, Manfredonia, and Canterbury, of every place I decided to be. But Cornwall is what raised me. I'll always remember the place I called home for so long, no matter where I go after. Laughter fills my fondest memories of living so close to nature's hand, the land teaching me to forage. Norwich, Portsmouth, and Leeds are interesting too, but nothing will stay with me as much as you. The deep West Country, the red jam, then the cream. Time goes directly as if a dream. I was lucky to grow up there. From Tintagel to Penair, it's our own little world, no matter how far we are apart. I'll always be a Cornishbenian at heart. Muraz, thank you for listening. You've been wonderful.
Fabulous. Thank you so much, Laura. Really, really special having you here this evening with us. Well, on to our final selection of awards, which are some of the most exciting. The next awards recognises the vision, creativity and hard work that goes into producing exhibitions. There'll be 2 exhibitions of the year, which is the quality and diversity of applications from smaller and larger organisations. So, shortlisted for smaller organisations, Vanishing Labyrinths of the Arzachilli Museum. This, they're here. No, that's great, lovely. The exhibition showcased the Labyrinths project, celebrating Scilly's unique pebble maze heritage through art, restoration and community celebration. Installed on St Agnes, it engaged nearly half of residents, built trust with off-islanders, and demonstrated cultural practice for remote communities. Weathering the Storm, Castle Heritage Centre. This broadened Bude's life-saving story by centering community voices alongside the RNLI. Co-created with local partners, the exhibition celebrated everyday bravery, family histories, and inclusive storytelling, strengthening connections, accessibility, and trust, while deepening local pride in Bude's maritime heritage. And Codes, Secrets and Communications, Saltash Heritage. This exhibition transformed rare coded World War II letters from a Dunkirk prisoner of war into a vibrant, hands-on exploration of communication through history. Volunteer-led and family-supported, it inspired schools, drew record audiences, and demonstrated how a small museum can deliver powerful, nationally resonant storytelling. The winner of Exhibition of the Year, Smaller Organisations 2026 is... Vanishing Labyrinths of the Arzachilli Museum. And Saltash Heritage and Castle Heritage Centre, please come up and receive your certificates. Quite a spread there from Saltash to Scilly, wonderful. And shortlisted for larger organisations, The Shape of Things, Penley House Gallery and Museum. This exhibition explored climate change through community-curated storytelling, working with 34 local groups and environmental organisations. Using collection objects and new artworks, it empowered diverse audiences to learn, share ideas, and take action while building lasting partnerships and sustainable museum practice. Where are we? Falmouth Art Gallery. This exhibition explored art and technology in Cornwall through immersive, collaborative practice. Co-created with neurodivergent artists, students, and partners, it attracted more than 12,000 visitors, reached younger audiences, and reshaped Falmouth Art Gallery's approach to inclusive, experimental programming. And Terry Shaw, The Lost Works, Cornwall Museum and Art Gallery. These works rediscovered the powerful art and life of a long-overlooked Cornish outsider artist. Co-curated with his supporters, the exhibition reunited communities, captivated visitors, championed accessible and sustainable practice, and sparked renewed commitment to celebrating artists beyond the mainstream. So for the larger organisation 2026, the winner of the Exhibition of the Year goes to The Shape of Things, Penley House Museum and Art Gallery. And please can we ask Falmouth Art Gallery and Cornwall Museum and Art Gallery to come up and receive your certificates. Thank you. moving on to the next presentations, which go to the larger and smaller organisations who've really demonstrated commitment to the award's core values of environmental sustainability and inclusive practice. All entrants to the Cornwall Heritage Awards were asked how they are working to become more inclusive, accessible and welcoming, and what they're doing to become more environmentally sustainable. Their submissions are judged by independent experts in their field from all the shortlisted nominations. A certificate will be awarded to a single smaller and larger organisation who shone in these areas. So when I call out your name, please do come up to collect your certificates. The winners for environmental sustainability are, for the smaller organisation, Castle Heritage Centre Bude. And for the larger organisation, Crescent Carno. Thank you very much. And actually, if you could just stay here, because I'm delighted to say that the winners for inclusivity are, again, the smaller organisation Castle Heritage Centre Bude and the larger Crescent Carno. Well, we'll do it all in one go. Congratulations. To our penultimate category, everyone's favourite, Object of the Year. Community is at the heart of Cornwall's story. Across generations, people here have found strength in coming together, sharing skills, traditions and experiences, and expressing their identity in many different ways. Whether rooted in long-held customs or sparked by new perspectives, these expressions reflect the diverse voices that shape Cornwall today. Nominated objects needed to highlight any way in which communities in Cornwall connect, collaborate and create. The shortlisted objects inspired togetherness, reflected the diversity of communities who've been part of the Cornish community, and captured essences of how people in Cornwall shape their world and each other's lives. The shortlisted objects for this category were hurling ball, silver-plated, £3 6 ounces to be precise, Cornwall Museum and Art Gallery. So this was won by 26-year-old Oliver Hocken of Truro on May the 29th, 1856, the day after his marriage. Did it last? The hurling match was played to celebrate the end of the Crimean War. Today, hurling is under threat, but this ball represents Cornish community, celebration and camaraderie. Lanna Women's Institute WI Scrapbook, 1965, Crescent Carno. In 1965, as part of a competition inspired by Jubilee celebrations, WI groups across Cornwall created scrapbooks chronicling our village today. The scrapbooks are fabulous surveys of villages and everyone in them, brilliantly showcasing the community connections of the time, local love letters to people, places, landscapes, and traditions. Then we have Anne Stevens' Blue Surfboard, which is here at the National Maritime Museum, Cornwall. So this board was used by pioneer wave rider Anne Stevens from 1921 off Fistral and other Cornish beaches. She's amongst the first known Cornish female surfers. The board was passed on to her son George, who used it regularly until he gave it to the museum in 2007. And then the twinned telephone box, Castle Heritage Centre. This model of a telephone box, which once stood outside Bude Station, was presented to Bude Stratton by their twin town, Gabarrig. I'm saying it in French because then it might sound right, in 2017. It celebrates more than 50 years of enduring friendship and the strong ties shared between the two communities. Now, I'm told that this year the voting was incredibly close, but just pipping the others to the post, I am delighted to announce the winner as... Are we ready, folks? Anne Stevens Surfboard, National Maritime Museum. And please let's also congratulate Castle Heritage Centre, Cornwall Museum and Art Gallery in Crescent-Kerno. Come and collect your certificates. Thank you. And that brings us to the winner of all winners. The spirit of the awards is sponsored by the Cornwall and West Devon Mining Landscape World Heritage Site, who celebrate their 20th anniversary this year. Representatives from the World Heritage Site have chosen the organisations they feel most embody the award's values of rootedness and connection, community impact, collaboration, and values-led practice. But before we have the last envelope opened, I'm delighted to invite Councillor Caroline Mott, Chair of the Cornwall and West Devon Mining Landscape World Heritage Site Partnership Board. That's quite a title there for you, Caroline. Anyway, we'd love you to come up here, please, to say a few words.
Microphone then. Yes. Thank you. And thank you for inviting me to speak this evening at the awards ceremony and for our continued partnership in promoting excellence throughout the area. And what an amazing evening we've had. So many wonderful nominations and wonderful winners. I'm sure they're all well deserved. As already mentioned, this is a very exciting time for the World Heritage team. I won't bore you with the full name. Celebrating the 20th anniversary of the inclusion of the inscription on the UNESCO World Heritage List, which was on the 16th of July 2006. As part of our celebrations, we have dome events happening in Givor, Crescent-Kerno and Tavistock. Sorry, it's across the border. I'll cover the badge. Where you can see a breathtaking 360-degree full dome experience that traces Cornwall's extraordinary evolution, from the creation of granite to the ingenuity of the Industrial Revolution and the dawning space age. The film follows the minerals that shaped a nation. You'll be able to witness the transition from ancient stone to a lithium-powered sustainable future, ultimately launching Cornish heritage beyond our atmosphere and into the cosmos. The screening is part of a trilogy of 360 films commissioned by Screen Cornwall and funded by Cornwall Council. Thank you. Exploring the themes of people, planet and place in an immersive sound and audio. I hope that some of you will be able to make one of those. Our 20th anniversary of inscription also coincides with the bicentenary of Cornish steam technology reaching Mexico, a development that profoundly shaped the revival of some of the country's most renowned silver mines. A significant new book that we are proud to support and which celebrates the shared heritage of the Cornwall and West Devon miners and Rio de Monte, Mexico, is due to be launched at the end of this month, entitled The Great Trek of the Transport Party, Mexico, a tale of tragedy and triumph. So yes, the Cornish miners did get around a bit. As part of our commitment to be clear about where our priorities lie, our management plan for 2027 to 2031 is currently being drafted and will be out for public consultation in autumn this year. This strategic document allows the team to manage day-to-day business with support from local authority representatives, partners, and other stakeholders across the heritage sector. Please do help shape it and get involved in the future of the World Heritage Site and the communities within and around it. Communications on how to do this will be released later in the year, explaining how to take part once that goes out to public consultation. And now on to the purpose of this evening, the Spirit of the Awards award that the World Heritage sponsor. And they have been chosen as they have encapsulated the ethos of the awards and are beacons of collaboration with their communities and enhancing the wider heritage ecosystem. Unfortunately, I was unable to make some of the presentations this afternoon, but looking through the subjects that were covered, I'm sure those able to attend gained a lot from them. The ones that I was able to listen to were amazing. And these awards are a wonderful way to recognise and celebrate the many projects that take part across the county, highlighting the need to collaborate and keep our communities at the heart of everything we do. It also proves that while a fat budget is nice to have, it certainly isn't necessary to provide an engaging project. Well done to all of you, and thank you for being here this evening.
Thank you very much, Caroline. So, without further ado, let's get on to our final winners. As with previous categories, there are two winners here, one for a smaller organisation and one for a larger organisation. Only the winners get trophies. There'll be no certificates for runners-up in this category. So let me remind you of all our category winners this evening, and I think this is really a time for you to whoop. They are, for smaller organisations, the Isles of Scilly Museum, Liskeard and District Museum, Lostwithiel Town Team, and Saltash Heritage. Brilliant. So for the live stream, everyone knows that you're still awake. That's fantastic. And the winner of Spirit of the Awards for smaller organisations is Lostwithiel Town Team. And last, but by no means least, the category winners for large organisations. Those in the running are Cornwall Heritage Trust, Cornwall Museum and Art Gallery, National Maritime Museum, Henley House Gallery and Museum, and Will Martin China Clay Museum. I'm going to savour this, the final opening of a gold envelope. The winner of the Spirit of the Awards for larger organisations is Will Martin Clayworks. Well, what an evening. 12 trophies, 16 winners, scores of extraordinary shortlisted projects, and every single one of them a reminder of why this work matters, why preserving our heritage, telling our stories, and welcoming our communities into museums and historic sites is not just worthwhile, it is essential. Thank you very much to our judges for the care and rigour they brought to this process. Thank you to our supporters, Cornwall Council, Museum Development South West, Arts Council England, Chaos Group, Chaos Digital, BBC Radio Cornwall, and Cornwall and West Devon Mining Landscape World Heritage Site. I wanted to say that again. Thank you too to the wonderful team here at the National Maritime Museum Cornwall for their warm hospitality, not only this evening but throughout the day. And thank you to you as well, for everyone in this room, the curators, the conservators, the volunteers, fundraisers, directors, and the dreamers, for everything you do for Cornwall and Isles of Scilly, not forgetting Isles of Scilly, every single day. Congratulations to all our winners tonight. Enjoy the rest of your evening. On behalf of the Cornwall Heritage Awards, have a safe journey home. Don't forget the group photo, which is taking place downstairs. So we just want all of you to be there, to make the most of this evening and to celebrate what has been a really lovely evening. Thank you so much for being here.
Can I just steal the microphone? I'm being very unsubtle. Daphne, we'd like to thank you. Thank you for just making this event what it is. You're a delight to work with, and we're so grateful that you keep coming back to us. Thank you. Oh, another round of applause for Daphne. Woo! Woo! Okay, and now some boring housekeeping. Please, can you make sure you return your badges to the reception desk on your way out? If you have won a certificate, please come and collect an envelope from us. Eilish, what else am I supposed to say? Don't forget to take your photo downstairs. No, Daphne said that bit. Yeah, okay, great. You can all go home. Thank you so much. It's been a lovely day.